Here's how to make any outdoor portrait look professional in Lightroom. This should take about 6 to 10 minutes. First things first, we kind of want to crop it to make it fit into the area that we want. We want them to be the highlight of this portrait because it's a portrait. It's one person with no background, like with a blurred background. Like it is about that one individual. But now we're going to go into our color section. So for color, we want to put our exposure up to 0.3. And the reason we're doing that is because it's too dim right now and we need to lighten it without overexposing the photo. And if we put it up anymore, it's going to blow out his face and make him look super, super pale, and we don't want that. So now we're going to move into our contrast. And we're adding, with our contrast here, we're adding a separation between the shadows and the foreground, or the light parts, right? We want our light parts to be different than our dark parts, because if they look the same, it's going to be gray. We don't want gray. We want a black and a white. We don't want gray. Gray's bad. Gray looks dumb. Gray looks old. We do not like gray. Gray's bad. Hate it. Hate it. Okay, so we're going to boost our contrast up to 15 to make that darker. Like just adding more of those separations and kind of sharpening up that image a little bit. Now, for highlights, we're actually shutting down our highlights because it's a little too much right now. We're actually going to go to a -40, and we're going to try to pull the details back from the bright areas. We don't want too many details. We want it to look good without being, okay, that part of his face or that thing on his neck or his hair looks weird. So let's turn that back a little bit. So we turned our highlights down to 40. Now, for shadows, we're boosting it up to 35. So let's go ahead and do that. Boosting our shadows up to 35. It brings out the details in his shirt, hair, and chain to just really sharpen those up a little bit. You can see more of those links in his chain itself, so that's pretty good. And now we'll move on to our whites. So we want our whites to go up to +10 because it's going to keep the brightness, but it's not going to take it away from the entire thing. We're going to still be able to keep it in the hair and skin when we shut down our saturation later slightly. We'll turn it down later, but that's anyways. Okay. So we put our whites to 10, just making sure that we're keeping the brightness in our hair and our skin. We want him to be lively looking. We don't want him to look dead or dying because it's a portrait. We want him to look good. Now, finally, in the last part of our lighting tab, we are going to bring our blacks down. We want them to anchor the photo while adding depth to it. We want it to anchor the photo down, right? So it's just grounding that photo a little bit more and just adding a little bit more depth and detail to the photo, which is pretty dope, right? Who doesn't love that? And now we'll move into our color tab, and this is where kind of the fun stuff starts to happen, right? So we're making our character less pale. We're making our character look more like all of this stuff. We're balancing out some of the things, but we're really just messing it to our personal opinion. Me personally, colorless photos or colder photos have this cynical look to them. They have this kind of like darker feel to them. And for this, it's a portrait. We want it to feel happier, lighter, and more energetic. So what are we going to do? We're going to add 4 to our exposure tab or our temp tab to make his skin look better. Just make it look less blue, less dark. We don't want that. So now we're going to go into our temp or our tint, sorry, and we are going to boost it to a +6. And the reason why we're doing that is because it balances out the green tones, and it kind of just adds like a little nice mute to those colors, so to speak, because now the trees are less green in the background, which is nice because it's now focusing more on the individual. Okay, so moving along, we are going to our vibrance tab, and the reason why we're doing this is because we need a color pop that basically avoids the saturation. We want it to pop without saturation right now, right? It avoids oversaturation here, so we put our vibrance up to 15. He's got a little red in the face, but honestly, I kind of like it. It's giving that rosy cheeks, warm day vibe where it feels like you're hot, which is good. That's what we want. And then we're gonna turn our saturation down to get rid of that excess red around his face. And now we're going to come into our color mix tab. The only ones we're messing with are green, blue, and orange. The reason why we're doing that is because orange is associated most with our skin tones, so we're going to mess with that, right? By turning the hue down to making him a little tanner, right? We want him to be his natural skin tone, and we want to make sure that he still has rosy cheeks and he kind of looks warmer. It's a hot day outside. That's what we're trying to emulate here, right? And then we're going into luminous and we're adding 6 to it. And the reason we are doing that is because it just adds, it helps reduce the redness and just the saturation reduce the redness, and then the luminous makes it pop more, obviously, because it's adding more light to it. Anyways, now we move on to our greens. Our greens are really easy. All we're doing is getting rid of the saturation by 20, muting those trees in the background, right? Just adding more of a mute to them. And now we go into our blues, not aqua, blue. And we're going to add a 10 to luminous to make sure that we are brightening the sky and any cooler colors just to add some more effect from them, because we got rid of most of our cooler tones earlier by making our temp and tint higher on the positive end, right? Because if we went negative, they would have been colder, but we brought them up so they went higher and it feels warmer. So now we're going into our effects tab and we're going to head over to texture, and we want our texture to be +6 because it's adding details without adding grain. We're adding details without adding grain here, but not too much, not too little. 6. 6 is the perfect amount because it's adding texture to everything without making it grainy. And that's what we love. We love to make our pictures look clear, but also we like to have a little fun, you know? So now we're going to be adding +10 to clarity because it's just going to crispen everything. Like, just watch this. Ready? Boom. So we +10. And now his hair, face, skin, even the background trees all look crispier. And the sharpening from the original texture helped it get up, but now the clarity is bringing it to a kind of perfect middle ground where you're seeing the sharp outlines, you're seeing everything that you should be seeing, but it's not popping out at your face, it's cutting through the screen, if that makes any sense. And we will intensify the cut into the screen, and you'll notice it more once we get into sharpness. Let me go here and dehaze. We actually are going +5 on dehaze to slightly cut through an outdoor haze that's kind of surrounding this picture, right? And now we move into vignette, and we want to -15 to pull into the center of the photo a little bit more, right? And we don't really need to do much else for that. That's pretty much it. And then finally, sharpness tab, sharpness, noise reduction, color reduction, and we're done. That's literally it. That's the whole video at that point. Wow, it's actually kind of crazy. This editing tutorial takes no time at all to do, and because I'm yapping, it's taking me longer, but you could really just, if you follow along on screen, and I'll show them with each thing, but if you follow along, this could take you 45 seconds to a minute if you do it right. 2 minutes maybe. So we're going to go into sharpness, and we're going to add 50 to sharpness because we want to sharpen his hair, eyes, and chin, and his chain especially, just making everything feel better. Everything just feels sharper, feels in more. It's not out at you, it's cutting through the screen, as I was explaining earlier, which is a weird concept for some people to grasp, but I'm not trying to throw it in your face. I'm trying to make you look so hard at it that you're like, holy shit, I didn't even notice that, like, his chin cuts through the screen, not out the screen. I'll explain it more in depth on a later occasion if that is something you guys want me to go in depth. Is my lingo with photography and editing, because it's completely different than everybody else's. I could transform and go or conform and be like everybody else, but that's not how I roll, because I'm not a natural normal photographer and photo editor. I'm weird. I started this shit 4 months ago. It's a passion, it's a dream, it's a goal. I do what I want because it's going to be my style, and that's how we rock around here. Noise reduction. We are turning our noise reduction down, and we're smoothing skin without, and we're smoothing our skin and kind of cutting down that outside grain haze again. And now for color noise, same kind of situation, but this time we're removing specks from different areas. So, like, for instance, in this little corner, bottom right corner, you'll notice that the color actually it slightly dissipates. But here's the original, here's the after. Let me know how I did. Thank you all for watching. If you want this preset, it's linked down below, and I'll actually show you how to do a preset right here. So, because we have our photo done, we want to click our 3 dots. We want to click copy settings, right? Copy everything, just so you have it. It's copied now to your clipboard. Now, click create preset, give it a name, and select your preset right here, right there, and boom, you got it, and that's literally it. And then you can add it by going in and you click create preset again, and you just click on steal that edit, or go back to whatever preset I was on, right? And I click that and it will put it in for me. And that's all you have to do. You only have to edit it once to edit the whole dump. It's pretty sweet, and that's why we love presets. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did enjoy that, please follow along down below, subscribe, hit that like button, and if you're feeling kind, check out my other socials. I play video games for fun, streaming that every weekend, every night. Let me know if it's something you're interested in by dropping a like down below, following the channel, and I don't know, I might buy you a puppy. Why not? Alrighty. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Take care.